Hello! We're just going to resume with where we left off, which was this middle of this fishing hamlet in Guild Wars 1. And I was talking about who I am as a person and what games I like and what this series is supposed to be and wondering why my run forward button wasn't working. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. So last time I had a lot of, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And there'll probably be a bunch of that as I kind of get a feel and get more comfortable with what the series is and all of that sort of thing. I need to go to the Healing Spring Region Valley. So gameplay-wise, I'm mostly just doing random stuff in Pre-Serving Ascalon. Just random quests, kind of complete my quest log before taking this character to ye old Post-Serving Ascalon to delete her and make her fresh in a different profession. Because I don't always want to be having an elementalist in Pre-Serving Ascalon, but I always want to be having a character in Pre-Serving Ascalon. Pre-Serving Ascalon is one of... It's a very special place to me, and I kind of want to stay there. I actually really like games that make special places. Like Dark Souls 2, I really love Majula. It has a great feel to it. That's just kind of a random example, I guess, but... Thanks. Now everybody knows that the scanned computer stopped working. No longer activates. Do not expect high quality production values from this, by the way. I am not going to edit anything or whatever, because I ain't got the patience for that. There's some specific things. So I have a podcast series which goes up on this YouTube channel that I call Sientir's Ramblers, and I edit the audio on those. But I'm not interested in doing video editing. I could learn how to do it with Blender, which has video editing in it. It makes a lot of sense, actually, that it does, even though it's for 3D modeling, which I've messed around with Blender a little bit. But following Blender Guru's tutorials and that sort of thing. What? Sorry, the bear over there was like a surprise to me. Well, I do need a bear skin for little Tom's cloak, so maybe this bear will be convenient and drop its pelt. It did not. Okay, so what's the next part of... Oh, okay. Now I just need to go back to that fishing village I was probably just at. I think I came at this quest at a slightly different angle than they intended to. I think they intended you to come down this direction. But I did not. So, let's see. More about myself. Well, I am a Christian. Have been for basically my entire life. I have a whole rambler on my testimony, which is basically why I'm a Christian and all that. Grew up in a nominally Christian household that became more of a Christian household. Some of that's, like I've said, my mom's story to tell. But she... Basically, I started asking what happens when people die, and she wanted to give me an answer, and she'd grown up in a Christian household, but stopped believing for various reasons that I'm not going to get into, or had kind of gone agnostic. Oh, I see what's going on this map. Yeah, whatever. And so, well, that was probably not worth. Anyway, that led her back into Christianity, and then that kind of established us as much more of a Christian household. And it's always kind of made sense to me, but if you want more of that, go check out the Rambler on my testimony, or ask about it. I mentioned last time that I want to try to respond to comments in videos, but there'll be like a week plus delay, just depending upon recording schedule and all that. Because I want to record these a thing at a time. Trying to do... Excuse me. It's much easier for me to set up a recording session. That's... can I go around this way? Probably not. That is like set up a thing. And just instead of trying to like set up everything and go for like once a day, it's just easier to me. Just record a whole batch, a week's worth at once. At least that's my intention right now, so we'll see how much that continues. You know what, I'm not going to deal with these spiders. I'm just going to talk to Aiden over here. Probably going to tell me all about being a ranger and be like, thanks for this horn. Okay. See, now the spiders are clumped up, maybe? And I can drop fire on them. Also, Aiden is probably... he's level 5? I would have expected better of him. This Chinese team's doing really well in the Hall of Heroes, I'll tell you what. That usually becomes, yeah, glittering dust. What a beautiful horn. You needn't say who made it. I can see and tells workmanship in every graven detail. I can also see this horn has been purified in some way. Be that as cleansed in a healing spring. Really, this is the finest hunter's horn I have ever seen. I am deeply grateful for what you have done. Blah, blah, blah stuff, things. Yeah, he can... Okay, yeah, he can't train me unless I actually become a ranger. I'm not going to become a ranger on this character. I'm probably going to go warrior secondary, because why not? It is super non-relevant. Don't get invested in this character too much. I mean, realistically, I haven't done a whole lot on this character. Identify that. Let's see. No, I don't have that many. Try on the catacombs. Could be whatever. Higher level. Okay, let's just go over here. So, being a Christian is definitely an important thing to me, and I'm probably going to talk about a lot of biblical Christians related stuff. I am not a traditionalist though. War Master Grassed. Okay. Let's see. He's right there. Is it easier to go? It is. Literally in the middle. So there's a lot of tradition in Christianity, depending especially on what flavor, I guess, of Christian you are. So there's moss spiders. There are not moss spiders in Christianity. There are moss spiders, however, in this field. So, like Catholicism has a lot of tradition built into it, and a lot of stuff that's just like, this is, where do you get this? For example, the whole thing with priests not being allowed to marry, I don't get where that comes from. That's actually against biblical command in 1 Corinthians, I think it is. I can look it up and throw it on the screen, which I might do. But Paul basically is like, yeah, so if you want to be having sex, get married and have sex. Pretty much is what the Apostle Paul says. And, you know, Paul's like some important dude, given how many letters he wrote that made their way into the New Testament. So I'm going to get shredded by these guys. So I don't know where they get the priests aren't allowed to marry thing from. It's, like I said, it seems to me to be just straight up against biblical command. Let's see. So that's kind of what I mean, though, by traditionalist, is I'm more interested in what the Bible has to say than what tradition has to say. And I want to kind of evaluate it, I don't know, according to what I read. So some people might disagree with that. Like, and that's one of the things too, is like Christian fundamentalism. Fundamentalism to me has always been kind of strange, because I feel like Christian fundamentalism shouldn't look like how other religious fundamentalism is, and yet fundamentalism religiously is kind of speaking to a particular type of thing that I don't actually think is biblically sound. So that's something that's always been kind of confusing to me. I need to spam spells because they're healing me. My inventory is full of stuff, and I don't care about that flatbow. Did I pick up the strange seed? Did it drop a strange seed? Or there is a strange seed. There's an unnatural seed. These aloes show up later in the game and drop a different type of seed, and I mean, okay, so the spiked axe is actually semi-worth picking up, because there's a chance that it will be highly valuable and worth 50 more gold. Not much worth picking up, but I'm just ignoring their attacks. If I come over here, the NPCs will attack them. So, like I said, I'm not interested in traditional stuff as much. Okay, he has another quest. This game is usually not meant to be soloed in quite this way. It's a very team-oriented game. Infused health is not... I mean, yeah, sure you can, but... Okay, that's just not going to be worth it. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm not much for sort of that tradition. I'm very focused on like what the Bible says and that sort of thing. Yeah, let's... Okay, drop this bunny. Actually, yes. I will take that over Glyph of Lesser Energy. I do not need your bad sword. I'd rather have my chocolate bunny. This is kind of, I guess, what the template of these things are going to be like. I'm going to talk slightly about things, and then I'm going to randomly talk to the game. Let's see. Do people want me to look up that? I have no idea. I have no idea if people want me to show that Corinthians verse. Why not? Let's see. I don't know, like, first... I think it's first... Corinthians... I'm just typing it off on the thing to the side. I don't know, like... somewhere in this area. Nope. Not that. Not there. Up, and then there's the love chapter. Everybody knows the love chapter, right? Yeah, there's no... It might be 2 Corinthians. It's one of those two. Honestly, I don't remember which. Okay. Let's see. Well, thanks. Thanks, NIV. Oh, whatever. Yeah, probably 1 Corinthians, given that sort of stuff is popping up in. Okay, it's like 7. Yeah, it's 1 Corinthians 7. Let's see. Yeah. So, like, in 7, he talks, and this is going to be a gigantic wall of text, so I apologize. I'm just going to leave it here for a little while. So, Paul talks about, enjoy a giant wall of text. So I'm going to let this episode run maybe a short bit longer so I can address this particular thing, and then next time we'll continue talking about myself, because why not? And what I care about. So, in this, this section that I've copied and pasted, Paul is saying... now, they wrote to him that it's good to not have sex. And Paul is like, yeah, like, in this section, is like, yeah, being single has a lot of benefits because you're focused on serving God and not on trying to please your spouse. But look, like, not everybody is designed to be single, is basically what he's saying in there. And when he says that each one, I wish that all of you were as I am. So Paul was single, but each of you has your own gift from God. One has this, another has that. And what he's saying is that not everybody is designed to be single. And it's important that you're not doing things that compromise. Oh, I guess I'm just supposed to take out a certain number of Grawl here. It's important that you don't do things that compromise your integrity, as it were, by tempting yourself. And we've seen that with the priests, where they have when they have that celibacy stuff, and then aren't really designed to be celibate, that there can be a lot of problems that develop. But anyway, like I said, it feels like it's going against, and you can read the full chapter 7. I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to leave this text up for a little while longer. But it's basically saying that, like, part of the idea here is that when you submit to each other, you need to basically be like, hey, we're committing to this marriage relationship, but we're also committing to a sexual relationship, and we need to fulfill that for each other. And so that way, basically we aren't going around horny all the time, is effectively what it's talking about here. Right? So this is the sort of thing that's like, I don't feel like the church talks about this particular passage very much. But yeah, this whole area is like, yeah, you should get yourself, if you're wanting to have sex, you should get yourself married and have sex. Like, the Bible says very much so that sex should be within marriage, but excuse me. But that if you're wanting to have sex, you should get married and do that. So I'm going to this red text right here. Once you make this commitment, you will not be able to change your mind as a lie. You can in fact change your profession. It just takes you until later in the game. Now, there is some what's the right term? Sense of how this can't be changed until you become. Why didn't I just? Yep, see improved sale value until you become chosen, and then that's kind of a special state. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop this gigantic wall of text away. Boom, gone. And so expect that sort of thing. Expect giant walls of text and me fumbling around on BibleGateway.com looking for specific Bible verses and things like that. I've completed this, so I'm going to go ahead and pop back to Escalon City and end there. So, next time, I guess I will continue talking, because that's how this thing works. Let's walk over. Let's walk over to the lake. Walk over to the lake. This is where Ascalon City post-searing is, by the way. Over in this area. And that's where, I'll show you at some point in time. Anyway, goodbye everyone. Take care.